Welcome to Producer Talk. This is our first episode. I'm excited. I'm an artist that I've worked with for the last 10 years on here. We're going to get into it. Her name is Dria Thornton. You guys stay tuned and let's go. So, how did you get started as an artist?
Yeah, I got started at the age of 13. I decided that I wanted to write, I wanted to sing. I was actively part of choir, I was actively part of the orchestra, playing the violin, and I just knew that music was like in me. And I loved singing in front of people. I loved performing at, different things in high school, and it was very well received for me. So it gave me the confidence that you really need in this industry to believe in myself and really believe that, oh my gosh, I have a real talent and this is something that I love to do.
Right. And was that a professional decision at 13 years old? Or was it just, I want to be an artist creatively and I want to share? Or was it a professional decision? Like, okay, I can see myself traveling the world and, tearing down crowds.
Honestly, it was not. It was just a creative decision.
Yeah. So when did that switch happen? When did you say, my plan is to shut down crowds and rock stadiums and share my music with the world?
School.
You started high school. Okay.
Yeah, because when I started at 13, so that 13, 14, 15 age range, I was able to discover more of what I could do.
Gotcha.
I could discover my voice more. I was in choir, so I got a chance to understand the dynamic of working with a group, but also learning how to vocally sing correctly, and you know what I mean. So it's those 2 years helped me develop. Like, okay, by the time I got to high school, this is what I want to do, and that is what drove me to go to performing arts school, because I knew I was going to be a performing artist, and that's just what it was.
So you decide, you go to this performing arts school. You're going to do this for a living. Right? As an artist now, as this profession that you've chosen, what do you go get a deal? What do you do? Like, how did you learn to even pursue this professionally? You decide that you want to do it professionally, but how'd you even get to the point where, it was a professional path and knowing all the steps to the professional path?
I didn't know all the steps to the professional path.
Learning on the job.
I just learned on the job, literally. I take my life and I was in high school, I was in performing arts school, I was learning all the skills I needed to have to be a performing artist, whether that was musical theater, it was orchestra, it was choir, it was a solo person, because, I had solos, I had performances, I performed at school for, different events and assemblies and things at school. And so I knew, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this. But after I graduated high school, that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to college. What am I going to do with this? What I've learned, what I've taken from here, what am I going to do?
What was your big break as a professional artist at the beginning? What was your big break? What, catapulted you into the professional realm? What was the big break?
Being in my girls group. When I moved to Houston for college, right, I met who's my best friend now. Her name is Dee. I met Dee, and I met a guy I was dating. His friend was managing or helping with this girls group, and they needed a member. And he told his friend. His friend told me, and so I went and I auditioned for them, and. I'm just thinking, oh, cool, I get to be like Destiny's Child, because I looked up to Destiny's Child. We all did as a group, and we were based in Houston. And so we ended up having managers, which was one of the girls' moms. And she managed us and actually got us shows, like real shows. And we got to open for like Tamar Braxton. And we got to go down to the Kappa Beach party. We were supposed to perform, but we didn't end up performing. She connected us with a vocal coach here in Houston who's really, she was really big at the time. She had sang a hook on like one of the biggest songs in the city. So she was vocal coaching us. And so that to me was super professional, because, I come from school, but I also go into this world where this woman actually was from the music industry, and right, she was professionally coaching us, and we were going to class, and we were performing, and we were doing dance rehearsals, and we were doing vocal rehearsals, and we were like, those rehearsals, that was something I was used to, but this was in a different arena of industry. Right. And so that was my first introduction to straight out of high school.
And we all have champions. Who were some of your champions early on in your career?
My best friend, Serena Williams.
Oh.
Biggest tennis player in the world. Best tennis player in the world. Best athlete in the world.
How'd she champion you? I mean,
she always championed. She knew that I had a dream, and my dream and my goal was music. And it was always music. Everything, I exuded music. Everything about me was music. And so, for her, she was like, okay, well, I have these situations and I meet these people all the time, and I'm always going to these different events, and I see where you can network because I believe in you, and I see where there's opportunity for you. So she would always help put me in those positions to be able to get my own career going.
Right.
My mom, of course, my father, who else championed me? Honestly, those were the heavy, my mom, my dad, and my best friend. And, of course, family members are always like, go girl, but, they were champions, right. But, to actually keep me motivated and keep me going in what I was doing and actually believed in me and helped me believe in myself, I would say, yeah.
All right, so now you got this professional career that you got a champion, Serena Williams. She's giving you engagement. So what were the things that you did to kind of build? What were the things that you did to build it from scratch? With these champions, with these people helping. What were some of the things that you did as a solo artist?
Well, I knew first and foremost that I needed to have product. Everyone wants to hear what you have,
right?
And so that was a time where we had CDs. And so for me, I knew there was resources available that I could get my own CDs pressed up. I knew I'm an emulator. And so since I was a kid.
You took the label route. You were like, I'm going to press this up and get this done myself.
Absolutely. Cause I'm a student. I like to learn. And I like to emulate and see what people have already done and just kind of repeat the same thing. And so growing up, I'm listening to all these people, Lauryn Hill, I'm listening to Aaliyah, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, all these people that are doing big things, and I'm trying to emulate their voices, and I'm trying to sing like them and write like them and do all these things. So when I started doing this on my own, I was like, well, people put out CDs, and there's CD babies available that can print your CDs for you. And then there's, inserts. CDs have inserts, and they say who wrote everything and who produced everything. And so I wrote, and I did all the vocals, and, let me put
You financed it yourself?
I financed it myself.
Okay.
We're literally working at Origins. I financed it. I took myself to the studio. I found a recording studio. I, wrote my own songs and made sure I paid for studio time and completed the songs and did my own backgrounds and got them mixed to the best of my ability at the time, pressed them to CD, made my own demo. And so every time I went out, I would give out demos. Or anytime I met someone, I would give them a demo. Or I would email them my demo if they wanted the email. So I always made sure and I did my own photo shoots, made sure I had a photo on the cover, just to make sure I had the product. I was in these situations, you need the product.
Right. And so in doing that, you get all that done, you get it pressed up. Were the opportunities flooding through the door once you got that done? Who are you sending your stuff to? Who are you talking to?
Well, not all the opportunities panned out because, for me, I had the creative side, but I didn't always have the business side of things, which was the follow through, which was the networking piece of it, the conversation, the relationship building, the, it was, I only had one aspect of it. But sometimes it helped me because I'm as far as like performance wise, I got a chance to meet people that put me in places to be able to perform.
Like?
Who, like the people or perform where?
What were you doing performance wise?
I was doing national anthems for tennis matches.
Wow.
I figured, well, I'll go to tennis matches anyway, and I sing, and I'm sitting in the audience watching somebody else sing the national anthem at these tennis matches, and I'm like, hey, how can I get to sing at these tennis matches? Let me connect you with the talent, whatever person for the tournament.
Right.
You know, and I connect with them and we email and I would talk to them and send them my music or send them the demo. They wanted a demo of a national anthem. So I went to the studio and I demoed a national anthem and gave them a copy and got the gigs.
Nice.
And so,
no management?
No management. I've always managed myself.
Wow.
For the most part.
Wow. So this is kind of a good segue into, you know, in today's world, I feel like a lot of artists feel like creativity is enough. Like creativity is what's going to get me over the hump. Someone's going to hear this great record that I created and I'm going to be put on. You know, I think the challenge today is artists not understanding that there's a huge other part of this, which is the business, and brand and marketing is a huge piece of that. So the question I have for you, brand over music, what's more important?
Knowing what I know now, brand over music.
And why do you say that?
I say that because there's a lot of people that aren't super talented, but they have the drive, they have the business, they have the brand, they have the, you know, the marketing. They know how to build up something bigger than just the music, and it's music then becomes just a piece of what they do. But someone who's super talented can have the music, but not have the other aspect of it. So no one gets to hear them, no one gets to see them. No one gets to know what they do or any of that because there's no brand in front of them saying, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is how my music sounds. So when you have great music with a brand, it's a great connection because you hook the people and then they're hooked to your music.
Right. And you distribute the music.
Exactly. Right. But if you have a great brand and you don't have great music, you can still kind of
figure something out.
You can but
vice versa is a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. So I think over the last couple of years, we've seen a huge shift in the music industry. The way that people consume music, of course, the way that artists expose their brands to music, right? What separates you from any other artist? You say that you're out there marketing and you're out there promoting, you know, how have you seen success through using these mechanisms? What are you doing that's different?
Well, it takes focus,
right?
Consistency,
right?
Dedication,
right?
And constant learning. If you own a business and your customers are asking you a question and you never respond to them, that's horrible customer service.
Right.
So the same thing goes with music. If I have constant people on my page and on my feed looking at my pictures, liking them, commenting, you know, sharing it, I'm not just going to leave them sitting out there alone. I'm going to go and I'm going to communicate with them. I'm going to engage with them. I'm going to share more with them. I'm going to respond back to them. I'm going to create personal relationships with people, you know. And I do that across all platforms. I go Instagram, I go to TikTok, I go to YouTube, I look at all my numbers, I study my analytics, I understand what's happening, I understand who's looking at my stuff, what countries they're in, you know, working with you, I'm understanding, you know, what the audience loves and what kind of people they are, the personality of the audience, and, you know, and constantly working on music, constantly feeding that. Communicating and feeding and studying. That's what I do every single day.
Nice. All right. So last but not least, along with management, which is the first step in the question that I'm about to talk to you about, which is building a team. You know, so I want to start with, you know, as you've been going about the process of building this music career, you know, you hear today in today's music, you know, how important teams are. What have you done to build out a team? You know, how'd you do it?
How'd I do it? Well, I have a very small team, first of all.
But you have a team, though.
But I have a team.
Right.
Yes, I have a team. You know, it was a lot of, you know, trial and error, really. It's a lot of trial and error. You know, right now I have a stylist, I have a makeup artist, video, producer, marketing, and
mastering engineer, mixing engineer.
Yes, mixing engineer, and that's it.
You have an agent, right? Last I heard.
Oh, I have I've partnered with Elena Steinman. She's helping booking.
Gotcha.
Booking agent. I feel like at this point in my career, it's very important to have a booking agent because I want to expand my audience and I need to get more in front of people in excellent platforms. And so I need someone to help put me in those places.
Gotcha.
But as far as like building my team, I knew I was going to be doing videos. I know I'm going to be doing stage performances. I know that when I go out, who I am as an artist needs to be displayed head to toe. So I know having a wardrobe stylist is important. Finding somebody that's super creative, finding someone or anyone on your team who's just as passionate about what they do as I am about what I do.
Passion's a necessity, right?
Passion is a necessity.
Right.
Because you got to be able to drive your own self. And so, and love what you do. And you're the specialist.
So this is basically, from what you said at the beginning, this is a self-starter industry.
It can and it can't be. If you're an independent artist, yes, it's very self-starter.
Right.
If you choose to go the label route and you want people to do everything for you and create your image for you and create your music for you, you can go that way. But, there's challenges with that as well. So, right. But as an independent artist, it's a self-starter. It's a self-owned business.
So, some of the challenges.
Challenges is working with people that are not as dedicated and consistent as you are, or as I am.
Right. How do you mitigate that?
Well, you scout first, see what they're doing with their business, how they're building it out. A lot of the times I believe in people. So if I believe in you and we're working together and I'm showing you how dedicated I am and hopefully they tie together. If they don't, those are conversations. Right. But I definitely don't. I'm kind of a zero tolerance, but I try to lean a little bit.
How long did it take you to get to that point where you had zero tolerance?
Oh, it took me a long time. It took me a long time because I understood that I'm that person too. I've been that person too. I've been unsure of where I want to be. I've been undedicated. I've been inconsistent. So I know what that feels like and I know how that is. And so, as I move out of that phase of my life and into a different phase of consistency and focus, I expect everyone on my team to be that same way, but I cannot expect them to be exactly where I am. But I can expect that we have an understanding that that's who I am. Right. And that's how I run my business. So if you're part of the team, let's all get it. I push you, you push me. But when it becomes, I'm just pushing you and you're not pushing yourself, then it's time to go. It's time for me to move with other people that are like-minded.
Our biggest weapon was our consistency. We weren't the most talented per se, but our consistency allowed us to outperform anyone. Of course, having great material definitely plays a part, but, great material can be developed over time. Without consistency, though, you'll never develop a great material. You'll never develop a brand. Hey, you guys, thanks for sitting with us on Producer Talk. We just finished interviewing Dria Thornton, an artist I've been developing for the last 10 years. And we got a unique perspective on what it takes as an artist from beginning to end to have a successful career. Now, those paths oftentimes are different, but ultimately there are certain key areas that we all have to focus on to ensure that, you're successful. Just remember that, this is a journey, this is a marathon, as Nip would say, and nothing happens overnight. But the key thing will always be waking up every day, doing the same thing, the same way, so that not only do your fans know what to expect from you, but you know what to expect from yourself. I'll holla at y'all soon. Peace.